Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. When we are talking about the scriptures and when we talk about inquiry or knowledge, exactly what are the topics which are of prime importance for us to know? So we all know there are three components of which the whole experience is made up of. One is the field of experience, the world. Second is the experiencer who is going through the experiences. And third, the controller of the world as well as the experiencer. Three things. It is something like a cricket match. In this cricket match, there is a field, and on this field there are two teams coming. One is bowling, other is batting, and then there is an umpire who governs and controls the play that is going on. And when he says that the batsman is out, he is out. When he says it is a no ball, it is a no ball. In this manner, these are the three factors which deserve inquiry. What this world is, who we are, who are enjoying or suffering in this world, and third, who is that thing called as God, who is sitting above the clouds and where only selected people can go, and the other people, they can bypass him and be happy. So these are the three things. Technically we call it as Jiva Jagat Ishvara. The souls, Jiva, Jagat, the world, Ishvara, the God. Now these three things, when we try to analyze and understand, this analysis and understanding can take us to two different directions. One direction will be to get entangled in this and get lost. Second direction will be we will transcend the limitations of these three factors, the souls, the world and the God. Most of the people, they get lost in this entanglement because they are told, you are a sinner, you have come in this world to suffer, and because you don't have sufficient sufferings, you come to us, we will make you more miserable, and we will make you more guilty, and we will create more fear in you. And under the load of guilt and fear, when you suffer more, the more you suffer, the more the God is happy. Now maja aa gaya. And such suffering fellows are sucked by the God. And therefore live in this world only to suffer. See? There was a friend of mine For the first time, I met him. After that, I never met him. He was driving me in Bombay to his house for breakfast, and he had recently come from Vipassana Yoga from Igatpuri, where Goenkaji stays. Now they are following the path of Buddhism. So he told me, he said, Swamiji, I am confused. You talk about all the time happiness, happiness, happiness alone. And we are told this world is misery, 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 sarvam dukkham, everything is misery, misery. So, we cannot say that Buddha was just an ordinary person, he was a great master. But his words are the world is misery. And we can't condemn you because you are alive, you will come on our neck. Therefore, now what do we do? Whether this world is misery or the world is bliss. Please help me to solve this problem. Because when I was going there, I was happily miserable. But now after I came to you, now I can't even become miserable. That's the problem for me. So what do I do? So please explain me. So in these two expressions, the world is an asylum where all the mad people come, or this world is a hospice where people come to die. This is one view. Other world view is this world is an expression of bliss and therefore only happiness. How do we understand this? So I told him by the time we reached his house and we got into the lift, went, and I went and inspected the kitchen. It was okay. So we sat on the dining table. And there was a glass of water. I asked him, now please describe this glass of water. It was exactly like this, half filled, half empty. He said, this is a glass of water or glass of milk or juice, something was there. I said, very good. Now, there are two persons who approached this glass of milk, which was half filled, and they interacted in two different ways. There was one person who saw it and was feeling very bad. Oh, it's only half. The remaining is empty. God, why didn't you give me this also full? This was the interaction of one man. The other person, he saw that glass of milk half filled. How does it matter? Enjoy. And he just gulped the whole thing. In the same manner, when you look at this world, where you look at determines the quality of the world. When you are looking at constantly changing phenomena that the world is, and you don't want the changes to be accepted, you are bound to be miserable. See? Our body is constantly changing. But we don't want it to happen. So what we do? We keep on doing makeup all the time. And do you know what is makeup? All that is done to cover the breakup is called as a makeup. There was one man, an old man, and he was running after a beautiful girl in Europe. And that girl said, I have been observing that you are running after me. What do you like in me? So this man got a chance to talk to that girl and he said, darling, I like your hair. They are so beautiful. She took out the wig, below bald. Honey, I like your eyes. She took out the eyes and gave. Darling, I like your teeth. She took out the denture. What more you like? See? So this body is constantly changing, but we don't want the body to change. Non-acceptance of the changes is otherwise called as miseries. See? And that is why you will see all the yogis, they again and again talk about. One person came to meet me in Lonavala, Kaivalya Dham, India. And he was associated with some big project. He and his wife. And when he came, we were taking food together. He asked me, Swamiji, what is your age? I said, how much you think my age is? He said, you look like 50ish. I said, okay, you are right. I don't get involved into any discussion. You are right. He asked me, how much is my age? Can you judge? So I say, maybe 20s. No, tell really. I said, you look like 18. Swamiji, everybody thinks that way I am very young. Do you know what is my age? I am 81 years young. I don't say I am 81 years old. Now to whom are we deceiving? See? Suppose you look young. Okay, what next? See? Our whole life goes on only in this changing world and try to prove that I am not changing. Although I am old, I look young. In old age, looking old is beauty. In old age, looking young is ugliness. See? Therefore, when we talk about the world, keeping this fact covered by the makeup, and then we are bound to be miserable. So, in this world, people have got diseases, they have got old age, they die. This is how Gautam Buddha was initiated in his life. He was a son of a great king, and he was never exposed to anything. All the time comforts, married, has children. And one day when he went out for a walk, he saw these three things. One old man, one deceased man, and one dead body being carried. And that gave such a terrible impact on his mind. My God, this is world. Only misery, misery, misery. And he got out of it. Went away from the palace and started searching. So his all attention was only on the changing world. And to get out of the changing world, what you have to do? You have to condemn it. This is bad. Then only we will leave it. Suppose I am told, see, smoking is so nice, When you smoke, you look so magnanimous. When you smoke, no mosquitoes come around you. When you smoke, you are given money. When you smoke, your lungs become powerful because they get the nicotine as a tonic. When this is told, will we stop smoking? No. Therefore, when we talk about the world, where is our attention? On the changing aspect, on the emptiness of the glass, or our attention is on the filled aspect of the glass. See, therefore, this is one area of inquiry. What the world is, we have to find out. And those who are not wanting to find out, they are happy with this thing, we are born in this world, and because of our last life sins, I am married to you, and I think again in this life I am making many sins. I hope you don't come next life, please. See? And we get entangled in Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jathare Shayanam. At least Hindus have got the possibility of realization because they are again born. Poor Christians, if they don't get realized in this life, they are booked for eternal hell. So be more serious. Otherwise, you will be put into the grave, and then you wait till the last day of judgment comes. And the last day of judgment cannot come unless the last Christian dies. So wait for everybody to die. And that is why they put a huge kind of stone or a slab on the grave, so that when the last day of judgment comes, this fellow will be busy in removing that, and by then I will reach first. All fun, all fun. If they are Hindus, they will be talking about this life, next life, in the next life I will do this, I will do that. Those who cannot listen while in the class 100%, will they listen on the CDs afterwards? See, there was a boy in Atlanta. He came to India. His father was after me, Swamiji, please give some nice things to listen to my son. He requires and all that. I said, if he requires, he will take care. Why do you worry? No, he doesn't understand. Indian parents imagine when the son is even 50 years old, he is still a child. So he forced me, please give some CDs. I will give it to my son and he will listen. So CDs were given to him, he took it because dad gave and never heard. And again he happened to meet me in Atlanta because of his father. And this time he got slowly involved, so much in that. And then he asked me, Swamiji, can you suggest me some CDs? I want to listen more and more. This time I got deep involvement. So I said, okay, I didn't tell him that I have already given him. So I told him, you buy these CDs, it will be very good. So he again bought them. And he says, Swamiji, last time what was given I never heard, but this I will hear. And then he started listening. And then one day his wife told that you have some CDs your father has given. Let us see what is that. They were the same. So, if we can get involved in our spiritual life now, then only spiritual life is possible. Normally we have this wrong notion. Why so early? This is not the time to go spiritual. This is the time to get spirited. Isn't it? Yesterday's movie, what we were seeing for 10 minutes. See, these movies tell the quality of life the people live. When I saw that Gladiator 2 years, 3 years before, it has got Oscar award and all that. Technically everything is fine. I have nothing against. But my understanding was, see the type of culture that was prevailing that time. Putting two human beings to fight each other, one should kill other, and all others are watching their game and clapping when somebody gets killed. Do we call it as a culture? Therefore, friends, when we look at this world, Are we getting entangled in this world, or we are getting out of this world? See? Now this is the approach we will follow, that whenever there is a topic of creation, what is the purpose? See, understand this purpose clearly. I will give you an example to tell you the purpose. Purpose, you understand? What is the meaning of purpose in German? Clear? So what is the purpose of these stories of creation, the world? To understand this, I will give you some example. Once I was in somebody's house, evening time. The mother was busy in cooking. The small baby, about 7-8 months or 1 year, was constantly crying, and her elder sister, about 10 years or 11 years, was given the job. Look after the baby, I am cooking, don't you understand? I think the baby is feeling sleepy, put him to sleep. So this elder sister, 11 years or so, she took that baby and started talking to her and showing the things from the gallery. Hey, look, see that cow is going, see how nice the cow is, running. Then the child focuses attention on the cow for 2 seconds. Again he remembers, Arey, I was crying. Again he starts. Then this sister again claps hands and shows the crow. See the crow is flying in the sky. See where is he going. Again the child looks at it for 2 seconds. Again, oh, I was crying. And it starts. Then a car is shown. Then something is on the road. So in this, slowly, his attention is taken away from the sincere job of crying, and then the child goes to sleep. And when the child goes to sleep, the sister takes the child, puts on the bed and covers properly. So I asked that sister, I said, hey, what were you doing? No, Swamiji, I was just putting that fellow to sleep. He was making noise. I said, you are telling me lies. This is no good. She became serious. No, Swamiji, I am not telling you lies. I said, yes, I have seen. You have shown your brother a crow, a cow, a car, and you said you were putting him to sleep. She said, Swamiji, I know why you are Swami now, because you don't understand anything. I was not showing car to the child. I was not showing the crow to the child. The purpose of showing all this was to put him to sleep. If this example is clear, in the same manner, when we are talking about the theory of creation, there are dozens of theories of creation in Upanishadic language, not one. Like, in the Genesis chapter of Bible, there also the Lord said, let there be earth, and the earth was born. Then on the second day, the Lord said, let there be waters, and the waters were created. Then the fourth day, the Lord said, let there be plants, and plant kingdom was created. Fifth day, the Lord said, again, let there be animals, and animal kingdoms were created. Then on the sixth day, Lord said, let there be human beings, and human beings are created. On the seventh day, Lord said, let there be sun, and the sun was created. And after the sun was created, Lord took one casual leave. And he said, now take bath, take rest. This is how the world is created. Without the sun being created first, how the days are born? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days are possible only when there is a sun. But God created sun on the seventh day. So before that, how the days were there? Oh, you are finding doubts and oh, you are a sinner. Now, this is not the purpose of talking the theory of creation. Similarly, in Upanishad, many stories come. So, the purpose of talking about the world is to bring to our cognition that which is creating the world and therefore beyond the world. The cause is beyond the effect. The cause is beyond the effect. But when we get lost in the effects, we forget the cause. Just like when we get lost only in the glitter and the designs of the ornaments, we are likely to be deceived whether they are made out of gold or ordinary metal. In the same manner, when we get lost in this constantly changing phenomena and do not recognize the unchanging substratum on which all the changes are taking place, we are bound to have the vision that this world is dukkham, the world is misery. And then try to remove the miseries. Then that becomes the only spiritual practice. See? That is why, those people who have this notion that they are the saviors and they have great compassion for the poor people and they want to give them education, they want to remove their poverty, they are the hypocrites of the highest order. Suppose I have this notion that I take a project in my life that I will like to serve the poor, miserable people. Suppose this is what I want to do. What will be my next step? My next step will be, I will be constantly on a search for miserable people. I will never like happy people. Because I want to serve the miserable people. Like a doctor never likes healthy people. He likes only the diseased people, unhealthy people. Therefore, when our vision about the world changes, what this world is, after this vision changes, our interaction with the world will change. When the interaction with the world will change, our experiences will change. And when the experiences will change, the quality of our life will change. See, whatever is our life is nothing but whatever are our experiences. How important. If my experiences are misery, can I say my life is good? No. If my experiences are of happiness, can I say that my life is bad? No. That is why we come across one survey conducted by one institution in USA. They have decided some criteria for evaluation whether a country is happy or not. They had about 20-25. And the surveyors moved in more than 120 countries. And with that particular questionnaire, and they concluded their survey and published the report. And the report tells the happiest country in the world is Bangladesh. India was the 5th happiest country. America was 55th in the serial number. See? That is why the other day I was telling this girl, somebody asked me when I was in USA, Swamiji, you move so much in this world. You know, in this world there are two big democracies. One is America, second is India. Very big democracies. How do you compare them? I said, they are not comparable. Can you compare a teaspoonful of water with the Atlantic Ocean? No, they are not comparable at all. No, even then something. I said, okay, I'll define in one sentence. America is a very, very rich country with very, very poor people. India is a very, very poor country with very, very rich people. See? More than what you have. What is important is, with whatever what you have, how you are. See? Therefore, when we are talking about the world appears to us according to what we have decided to see in this world. If we have decided to see differences, we will see only differences. See, let us take our gathering. Now let us see what are the differences. Not one, we can enlist 100 of them. There are some males, there are some females, good. There are some young, there are some old, good. There are some black, there are some whites, good. There are some tall, there are some short, good. So many differences. To talk about differences is very easy. Some are Catholics, some are non-Catholics, some are Hindus, some are non-Hindus. Differences. When we talk about differences, we are bound to disintegrate. But if our attention is on a common denominator, what is the common denominator here? We are all suffering because of you alone. Common, isn't it? So when our attention is on the common denominator, our perception has changed. Our interaction will change. Now, if we are here for spiritual seeking, if that is the purpose, we have all gathered here together, then the differences will not matter. Differences in our food habits, differences in our living style, differences in our clothing, differences in our individual requirements. They may be there, doesn't matter, because our common goal is spiritual evolution. In the same manner, when our attention is on the unchanging, uncreated, unending substratum supporting all the changes that the world is, then the world is most beautiful. This inquiry forms the foundation of how we interact with the world. How important it is. About perception and interaction, I'll give one gross example to make this point understand. One day I was in somebody's house and a very big hall, and then we have to go to the next place. And like this, one single color big carpet, and when I was going talking to the person with my khada on, and suddenly there was a step in that big hall, which is normally not there. But in that hall there was one step. And I could not see that because it is same kind of carpet. And because I could not see, I fell down, toppled, twisted my ankle. So the person said, Swamiji, you didn't see? I said, if I had seen, do I get a fun in falling down or what? Oh, we are sorry, I thought you have seen. See, when my perception is wrong, my interaction was wrong. If this is understood, then our definition of the world is according to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, first 3-4 verses. Urdhvamulamadasyakam ashvatham prahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda savedavid adoshtvardham prasrutastasya shaka. Urdhvamulamadasyakam ashvatham prahuravyayam. This world is called as like a tree. And the tree is like what? Urdhva moolam. It has its roots upwards and branches below. Like the headstand posture of a tree. Now above is always the cause and below is always the effect. So this world is an expression of a cause. Cause never changes, effects are constantly changing. Gold never changes, the names and the forms of the ornaments keep on changing. Gold is one, names and the forms of the ornaments are many. But because of the manyness in the world, the original cause is always one. It has not become many. But when our attention is only on the manyness of the ornaments, because of the differences in the names and the forms, we will be lost in division. But when our attention is on the gold, our approach will be different. One day I went to one jeweler's place. He used to come for my lectures. He said, Swamiji, please come to my workshop and bless. So we went there. And there he was just asking me one question. Swamiji, suppose I have two idols. One is that of Lord Rama and other is that of Ravana, the devil king. And Rama is the God. Between these two, whom will you select? He asked me this question. Whether you will select God Rama or the demon Ravana. I asked him with the same seriousness a question. Which is heavier? If that demon Ravana is heavier, I want that. Swamiji, you will leave God? I said, yes, I will leave God. Because my attention is on the gold. Doesn't matter name and form. Out of the same Ravana, again I can melt it and make a Rama. But I cannot change the gold. Gold remains the same. See, when our attention is on this substratum which is supporting all the changes. Therefore, urdhva moolam adashakam ashwatham prahuhu avyayam. So this world is called as Ashwatha. Ashwatha means a peepal tree. Here I have not seen. Do they have here? Okay. You may be having another tree belongs to the same genera or family called as the fig tree. Fig, F-I-G, fig tree is referred in Bible. It is the same tree, fig tree, where these fruits are coming directly not from the flowers but directly from the body of the tree. Everywhere the fruits are coming, right from the trunk and branches everywhere. There was that kind of fruit in the evening. What do you call that? Fig only, isn't it? The black kind of bigger one. So it is said that this world is like a fig tree. And what is the beauty of this Ashwatha Vriksha? It is constantly changing. Little bit of air comes, all the leaves are making sound. And the beauty of the fig tree is based on the foliage, the leaves. If a tree doesn't have flowers, if a tree doesn't have fruits, doesn't matter. But if a tree doesn't have leaves, it looks aghast. It looks terrible. It looks dead. In the same manner, on this tree of this world, the Chandamsi Yasya Paranani, the Veda, the Upanishad, these are the leaves of this tree of the world. Meaning, the beauty of this world is because of the knowledge which is supporting all the experiences. Now here one very important principle. When we live as human beings and when we live as animals, what is the difference? There is a technical word for human being as Manushya. Manushya means what? He who creates relationship through the mind is called as a human being. Manasa sivyati iti manushyaha. The one who creates relationship through the thread of mind is called as human being. So this is the greatness and glory of the human being. And therefore we have got culture, we have got social structure, we have got rules and regulation how we should live in this world, not like animals. In the animal kingdom, there are no relations. When a cow delivers a calf, male calf, for a very short period, the relationship between the cow and the calf as the mother and the son is valid. By the time that calf has come to puberty or matured, he has no problem. Mother and son relation disappears and only male and female coming together for their physical contact is the primary expression in nature. And therefore, when this happens in case of animals, we have nothing to say. Oh, animals are always like that. But when the same thing happens with the human beings, we are unable to accept it. Because human beings are not animals. And that is why religion, code of conduct, morality, etc. They are only for the human beings. And when our life is guided by these principles of living in a decent code of conduct, maintaining the proper relationship, then only this tree of world looks beautiful. See? Chandamsi yasya paranani. Like when we drive the car driving is done under certain rules of traffic. And these traffic rules are applicable to everybody, and they are not created to trouble anybody. And when these rules were framed, the welfare of all the people was taken into consideration, so that the driving becomes easy and non-accidental. If this example is clear, in the same manner, for all the souls, whether they are animals or human beings, when they are born in this world, for their welfare, these are the rules and regulations given in the Upanishad and the Vedas, how we should conduct our life. That is given. And therefore, the first principle that is given in our scriptures, Matrudevo bhava, Pitrudevo bhava, Acharya devo bhava, Atithi devo bhava. The first lesson given to a person who is following the Veda, Upanishad, the Hindu philosophy, first principle is, Mother is your God. See, when we take Mother as God, we don't have to look into the sky, oh God, come down. No. The whole relationship will change. Don't we find ourselves secured in the presence of the Mother when we were children? And when the mother also knows that I am an altar for my child, automatically the mother also starts behaving properly. She doesn't behave like animal. Then only the cultural beauty surfaces. Thereafter, the second instruction, Pitrudevo bhava. The dad is your God. Naturally, when mother and father are your God, where is the place and where is the justification that the husband and wife separate and the children are orphan? No. Thereafter, they may have differences, but they have to live together, because together they make an altar for the children. Chandamsi yasya paranani. This is how this culture gives a meaning to this world. When we lead our life under the leaves, means the pages of the Vedas, the culture, the tradition, wherein I is the last priority. My parents, then Acharya devo bhava, then the teacher who teaches me, he is my God. And when we start seeing God in mother, father and the teacher, then we slowly graduate. What is the final graduation? Atithi devo bhava. Anybody who comes in our life is God. See the change in the vision. When this becomes the vision, then this world is most beautiful. The other day we went to Vienna and in one Ayurveda shop to buy our groceries. It is owned by some Indian. So when I went, by looking at an Indian, I can tell which place he is from. So when I went there, I told him, "Hey, are you from Kerala?" He said, he looked at me. He said, "Yes." And then he told about himself. We selected some achar and whatever we wanted. You are not giving me papad last 2-3 days. So we saw everything. And when we were seeing things here and there, he took out from some container samosa. He said, "Swamiji, will you like to have samosa?" I said, "Yes, I was feeling very hungry." So I took samosa. And after I ate samosa, and when she was paying the bill, I said, "Hey, please add that cost of one samosa, €1, so that your payment is complete." He said, "No, no, no, no. You are my guest. How can I take money from you? He is unknown to me." See the important thing? He may be sitting in that shop to do business. But when this teaching which has come right from childhood, that an unknown guest is also God. Now with this philosophy, where are enemies in this world? With this philosophy, who is an unknown person? We are unknown friends, never met before. Chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda. He who knows the world in this manner, his understanding alone is right understanding. See? Urdhva moolam adashakham ashvattham prahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda savedavid. He alone has understood the clear import of the Vedas, the scriptures. Can there be any place of division? There cannot be. Can there be any place of competition? There cannot be. Can there be a place of jealousy? One day, one girl asked me this question. "Swamiji, I am always inspired by you, and I am always wanting to know what is that which makes you all the time so happy? What is the secret of your happiness? I never seen you frustrated, depressed, dejected. If you are sleeping, you tell, 'Get out, I want to sleep,' and you snore away so comfortably. So what is the secret?" I said, the secret is very simple. I am happy in the happiness of others. This is the rule. See? Normally what happens? We are jealous in the happiness of others. I say, for example, people get married. But I am happy. So after the marriage, misery remains with them. But happiness, I already got it, isn't it? And they may get married maximum 3, 4, 5 times. So only that much time they will be happy. But I attend everybody's marriage. So in every marriage I am happy. See? Now this girl is going to be a mother. I am so happy that she is going to be a mother. For that, I don't have to be a mother. See? Once you learn this technique, friends, let us celebrate the prosperity of others. Somebody has got something, it's God's grace on him or her. But normally what happens? We are jealous. I know how he collected that money, all black money. I am not like that. I work very hard. See, yastam veda savedavid. He who has focus attention on the unchanging reality behind the changing world. This unchanging reality is all bliss. When our attention is on this unchanging reality, the bliss, you can never be miserable in this world. Now, very important principle. When you see the bliss everywhere, how can you carry blisters on you? See? When, suppose you go to a company where everybody is laughing, ha ha ha, you cannot start crying. Even if you don't know what is happening, you just laugh. Therefore, friends, what is this world? This is the inquiry. And the inquiry gives us two options. See all the changes and become miserable. Swamiji, I see that day no tsunami, I felt so bad. Then this Katrina has come, I became so miserable. Then as if Katrina was not enough, so Rita was sent. Then Rita made, now again in Kashmir, so many thousands of people died. See, when Katrina came, what was the newspaper report? Muslims said, Allah has heard our prayer and they have destroyed Americans. Now the same thing has happened in Kashmir. Now what the Christian should do? Oh Lord has listened to our prayers and therefore the Muslims are killed. Is it not worse than being children? Do we call this as wisdom? Therefore, friends, we can focus attention on this unchanging reality only when we change our focal length. You must have seen when you take out your glasses and you can't read, then what you do, you put the glasses like this, make it bigger, and then you try to see on what focal length you can see. The moment you adjust the focal length, you can see the things clearly. In the same manner, when we adjust our focal length, we go beyond the limitations of names and forms, and we see one unchanging reality supporting all the changes. He who has discovered this divinity, for him devil does not exist, because the devil also borrows the existence from the divine. Our mind carries good thoughts. Bad thoughts are also carried by the same mind. From the mind's point of view, there is nothing like good or bad thoughts. In the same manner, from the absolute reality point of view, there is nothing like divine and devilish. There is but one absolute reality wherein both the divine and the devil merge into oneness. Chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda savedavit. Chandamsi, scriptures, Upanishad, Veda. Therefore, what is this world? How to live in this world is distinctly, clearly given out by the manual. Who has given the details about the world? Like you buy a machine. Recently I got one hard disk. And in that hard disk they have given a booklet. If you want to format your hard disk for the PC, these are the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to format your hard disk for the Mac, these are the steps. In the same manner, how to live in this world, what the world is, who can tell us? The manufacturer of this world. And the manufacturer of this world is the Supreme Reality, and therefore Vedas are not appended with the names of the author. It is the divine uncreated knowledge. And that is why nowhere in the Vedas or Upanishad there is a sanction for conversion. Conversion is possible only when there is a competition. See? Therefore, unless our inquiry about the world is complete according to the scriptures, Upanishad and the Veda, we will be living in darkness. And when anybody will ask us any question about the world, and if we don't know, we will say, the devil is speaking through this fellow, keep away from him. Why? Because we don't know the answer. Therefore, friends, this is one area of inquiry. What this world is. Now in this world we see two types of worlds. One is God's creation. And second, our creation. So, creation and again creation. What it will be called as? Recreation. So, God's creation is a real creation and our creation is a recreation for the God. God has not created India, England, Germany, Australia, USA. This recreation is by us. See, God has not created Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Mexican. These names and lines are drawn by us. See. Therefore, friends, we have to get out of our creation and enter the divine creation. Getting out of our creation and entering in the divine creation means what? Means looking at the world, be very attentive, means looking at the world as the God is looking to his creation. See? Now try to understand this through an example. I have got two children. a son and a daughter. And one day I took them for shopping. And there is a festival in India where all the dolls are made out of sugar. A peculiar festival. When there is a new harvest, then all the dolls are made out of sugar. So the children go and buy their own choice dolls. So my son bought a dog which is made out of the sugar, and the daughter bought a cat born out of the same sugar. And when we are coming home, I was driving the car and these two fellows were sitting behind, and the brother tells, "My dog is going to eat your cat." And the sister is crying, "No, no, 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 don't do that. Dad, look at him, he's doing. And both of them were constantly fighting. So they are my creation. And they are fighting with each other. And they have their own creation. My dog is going to eat your cat. So how will I look at them? Will I punish anybody? Will I misunderstand anybody? God, worth His name, never sends anybody to hell. Those who book us to the hell. Do you know why they book us to the hell? Because after every booking, they get their seat reserved in the hell. Don't get carried away by these threats of going to hell. No. Look at the world as God looks at the world. Like we go from our bedroom to the bathroom, from bathroom to the dining room, from the dining room to the drawing room. So we may be going in so many places, but we are inside our own house. In the same manner, we may be in the human form, we may be in the animal form, we may be rich, we may be poor. From the God's point of view, we are all in His creation within. And therefore, when somebody is born, there is no happy birthday to you. And when somebody dies, there is no mourning meeting. In that mourning meeting, most of the people are happy. Thank God, this fellow is gone. See, let us recognize this is the meaning of the world. Otherwise, we'll have to say, God is the most criminal terrorist in this world. First of all, He has sent His suicide squad. And you know, all of them are ladies. First, Swami, then Katrina, then Rita. God, these ladies are terrible, Isn't it? We'll have to say that God is a terrorist. No, friends. Look at the world in its totality. Mathematics tells plus minus anything in the infinity is infinite. Infinite cannot be improved upon. Infinite cannot be reduced. It is ever the same. To come to this equanimity in understanding through our interaction with the world is understanding what the world is. That is why Bhagavad Gita tells right from beginning to the end, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. When we interact with the world, let our equanimity be not disturbed. Then our understanding with the world will be correct. If our equanimity is disturbed because of our interactions, friends are created or enemies are created. With the friends we will be loving, with the enemies we will be hating. That is not the way to live in this world. And this can be avoided only when we see one common substratum supporting all the changes. With this meditative poise, we live in this world, go through all the achievements and failures without getting influenced by any one of them. Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. This is the meaning of this mantra which I spoke to you. Purnamadaha. The Lord is infinite, complete, nothing is lacking in Him. Purnam idam. This world is the creation of the Lord, therefore in this world there is nothing except God. Purnasya Purnamadaya. When we are able to see the divinity in the manifest world, Purnameva Vashishyate, you discover yourself also to be the divine principle and not a devil. And when you discover yourself to be the divine principle, Purnameva Vashishyate, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You attain that peace which passeth beyond all understanding. It is not a peace which is opposed to disturbances. It is the peace absolute. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.